Yesterday we played. This is the first one we're gonna start with today. So, yesterday we played. Is it Meek Attack? Meek Attack in more of a Splinter Twin style control shell. You're playing Is it Control and trying to assemble Meek Attack plus Agent. I felt that by itself, I wasn't too impressed with that plan where you're just very reliant on eventually you're gonna steal two, three things with Agent and hope that that's good enough. It wasn't awful. We had some cool moments with it, but it definitely seems like this combo is going to be a lot better in this kind of shell where you have access to ways to blink your Agent of Treachery to really, really go crazy with it. In addition to a few other things to Meek Attack for some value, like Solitude or Hasty Phelia can be really good to Meek Attack. Still in on some of the MDFCs to Meek Attack in, deciding to go with a 2-2 Glasspool Mimic Pinnacle Monk split. Not really super confident in that split. But I think it's kind of a good place to start testing. Pinnacle Monk is really cool in your Ephemerate deck, where it kind of functions as an Eternal Witness, where you can get it in and then return an Ephemerate the Monk, get an Ephemerate back, and you can start to loop that. Which I think is definitely worth testing. It's also an untapped land compared to Glasspool Mimic, which isn't. And so I kind of took the normal Jeskai Blink Shell, and then it's not too complicated, but Ragavan Flage and Fable of the Mirror Breaker are not super cohesive to the Meek Attack game plan. Fable's kind of an exception to that, because the ability to like loot away extra Meek Attacks or dig for payoffs is kind of nice, but Fable's also a lot worse without Ragavan and Flage in your deck, so I wasn't... And also, like, you know, we're adding a bunch of 3-drops to the deck. I think it's kind of nice to cut some of the other non-synergistic 3-drops. Also wanted to be kind of Teferi heavy. One, this helps you resolve your Meek Attacks, but also you can go like Meek Attack in Agent, bounce Agent, re-Meek Attack it in, and that's really powerful. So always nice when you can kind of combo a little bit with your Teferis. Now, as far as like combo protection, usually the Jeskai decks play some kind of split of like Consign or Strix Serenade. Lately, it's been a lot of Consigns. I do feel like I kind of wanted to lean a little bit more into the Strix Serenades than usual. And I had more, and I know I'm playing 2-1, but I have 3 more Strix Serenades in the side. But I just want to play more Serenades than most people are playing at the moment, because I feel like the Agent of Treachery plan gives you a lot of equity against Tron, which is like is very nice to have right now. There's a lot of Tron, but also without Phelia, or sorry, without Flage. Consign is a lot worse because you lose access to the Flage line. It's still a fine card. Lets you exile stuff with Phelia. It's okay with Quantum Riddler. It's just good against a lot of stuff in your opponent's decks. But it can also you can consign your Meek Attack sacrifice trigger. Might come up sometimes. But I just wanted to lead it a little bit more into Strix Serenade for Neoform and Titan, which is 2 problematic matchups. Honestly, might be better to do a little bit of a different split. We might change this if we do a second league with this one. I do want to talk real quick about the other 2 decks added to the Mox field. So, all right, keeping this in the play. Oh, also playing a bunch of Preordains that you don't usually have to play in these decks, since we're a combo deck. Yeah, so this was the red-green build. And you got to play a bunch of creature removal, which was kind of the upside to this one, I guess. You get to play Seasoned Pyromancer. So I guess we could play something pretty close to this and just play Formidable Speaker over Amped Raptor. Let's keep the Agent. I'm feeling it. Wants to release the official images for the pre-release TMT cards and Scarfo. Any thoughts? I haven't looked at them, and I'm not going to look at them for a little bit. I'm focused on Lorwyn. I haven't tested any more goblins yet, Copper Butts. At the moment, I'm not testing off stream for like the first week or so, 2 weeks usually. I just test everything for the first time on stream. I think it's fun to play with the cards for the first time on stream, and usually this lets me stream for a little bit longer. Although yesterday I couldn't stream for longer because of the plumber, but thankfully, $0. Jeff with the 56 months. Thank you. Welcome back. We did not play the Badgermole Speaker deck. This is the other thing too, is it takes a long time to test these decks. Like I know I've posted like a dozen or something. We've only played like 6. It just takes so long to test decks, and people want them tested immediately. I feel like this might be Cascade Birthing Ritual, so maybe getting Teferi down to stop the Cascade will be good. It's okay, Galvanic Discharge, so not Cascade Ritual. Is this just... Why would they be playing Heath if this is Jeskai? Can I just get a basic island? Probably can. No Flage in the deck makes things kind of easier. $0 Cameron Winter reference. It's a reference to my literal plumber, who I thought I was going to have to give thousands of dollars to. There's a reference to real world problems. And it turned out to not really be an issue so far. And I just gave my plumber $0 and I gave him a yerba mate. Andrew with the 51 months, tier 2. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome back. And Fault Fracture, the 56. Thank you. Welcome back to you as well. Yeah, I think as we're just playing against Jeskai, are they going to haste Phelia? Don't have a white card for the Solitude if they do. Yeah, Agent has been super fun card. Okay, so Galvanic Discharge and haste Phelia, sure. Then they tap the wrong card. Oh, haste Riddler, sure. Also. So this lets them bank a lot of energy. That's pretty cool. Good turn. Meek Attack. My own Quantum Riddler. I'm going to go ahead and Surveil first. Just give me myself a extra look at Ephemerate. Okay, I guess let's go ahead and use our Consign on the warps, because we just kind of want to get Hellbent if we are going to have a Riddler in play and a Riddler in our hand. Or not Hellbent, as you know, down to one card. Although getting down to one card could be kind of difficult on account of the Agent of Treachery that's stuck in my hand. Although, honestly, this is the kind of matchups where hard-casting Agent of Treachery could just come up. Have I managed to trigger Agent's second ability? We did yesterday. It's going to be coming up a lot more often than this deck, as we're going to be flickering the Agent. The other day, you said all you needed for Moonshot to be good was fetches and baubles and Street Wraith. Have you changed your mind that maybe Arcanist could do something in a deck with Moonshot, or maybe looting or something? Zathis, I love that you're always here asking about asking about Dreadhorde Arcanist. I love that you never stop loving that card. Yes, you could play it in your Arcanist shell. I think it would be fine. Probably want to be keeping this as a white card for the Solitude for the Flage. Absolutely, I think you could. Okay, drew our Meek Attack, so we do need another red source. What happens if you steal a warped card? I think you go to jail. They exile it? Do they exile it, or what is happening? So steal a warped card. So usually if you the warped Agent of Treachery. I think that it still would go to exile. My opponent has a they hit a Quantum Riddler here. Now I'm pretty sure if they warp it, does it go to my exile or theirs? How do I not know this? Cryogen Relic. So I guess I would get the Riddler. Yeah, again, not solituding the Teferi, saving that for the Flage. They got 3 cards in their hand over there. They leave a Sacred Foundry untapped, so maybe a Phelia. Red source would be nice. Another Solitude. I guess let's go ahead and cast the Teferi, see if my opponent plays Flage in response. Sorry, Phelia in response. Did we ever get a solid answer on what happens if you steal a non-escape Flage? The consensus seems to be that the Flage does get sacrificed. Not 100% sure. Have I considered Meek attacking something like body double, decopting something in the yard? It just doesn't seem that good, but we have talked about it some. Doesn't seem like a big, like the correct way to build Meek Attack. So they are going to play the Phelia. So their hand is Ragavan, 2 mystery cards, and they have a Flage in the yard. Let's bounce the Phelia. Okay, so now we can set up to Meek Attack an Agent into play next turn. Let's leave this Riddler back to block Teferi or to block the Ragavan and to protect the Teferi. It doesn't get sacrificed. You know, I just have had a lot of chatters confidently say it does get sacrificed. A lot of chatters confidently say it does not. Why wouldn't? Yeah, and so and then I've seen some people who say it wouldn't, go back and say it would because it's weird, and I don't know. I just need. We'll just need to do it, I guess. They're hasting a Phelia also. So let's go ahead and Solitude the Phelia. This is really gonna wreck them. You can't sack creatures you don't own. Well, so there's a trigger. Okay, yeah, sorry. I know you're just referencing yesterday. You can sack creatures you don't own. You can. Um, no, that is true. Uh, and then there's a trigger on the stack saying to sacrifice this permanent, and it's still the same permanent. Yeah, but yeah, we just need someone to go. Hello, Spike. I'm a judge. Everyone else in the chat is. Well, I won't call them an idiot, but confidently, they're not judges. They're not qualified. Sugar with a tier 3. Thank you with 38 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They have Consign. Well, I've got Teferi. I've got a Hulk. So there's a trigger on the stack, and I guess it's your opponent's trigger, but it's still it's also the Phlage's trigger to sacrifice this permanent. But maybe we'll just do it for science if a non-escape Phlage ever gets put on the stack. We'll just commit to doing it. How was no one Dota a Moto in a test game to find out? So the problem is, I guess you would have to play against someone in a test game. And then another thing too is, even if the rules work one way in paper, this is easily something that could work the other way on Magic Online. Oh, hardcast at Solitude. Yeah, I think it's probably better to save the Ephemerate for the Agent at this point. Interesting Ragavan at Teferi, Solitude at me. Yeah, they flipped that script. Maybe actually, I'm kind of changing my tone a little bit here. Because what if they have Consign? Actually, if they have Consign, I have Ephemerate still. I also have Ephemerate for this Riddler. You know what? I think that's probably just going to be enough. We also get to steal Ragavan, which is pretty good. So steal Ragavan blocks Solitude. We can go Riddler Ephemerate this turn. Now to the 37. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. So we flip over a No More Lies, which is a reference to my Twitch chatters not knowing how this interaction works. All right, so we'll draw 3 cards here. There's a Pinnacle Monk, which we can Meek Attack in next turn to loop the Ephemerate potentially, and we have a white card for the Solitude and a Solitude. A triggered ability is controlled by the player who controlled its source at the time it triggered, unless it's a delayed triggered ability. Determine the controller. So yeah, I understand that the controller controls the ability. So maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe it does work the other way. It is going to be very interesting. We're going to figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to Solitude now so they can't consign my Solitude trigger. And again, going down to 1 card is good with the Riddler, so I don't think there's much point in like trying to conserve the maybe try to trade Solitude for the Consign and then Prismatic Ending, which is kind of mana inefficient, even though we can Meek Attack in the Solitude. Might be able to trade the Consign if they have Consign for the Ragavan trigger here. If this matchup ends up feeling really good, then that's obviously an excellent sign for this build, right? Really good matchup to run into, or like a good matchup for testing to run into. Do they have a Solitude and a white card? They marched the Ragavan pitching Ephemerate. Okay, well, that's good news. Yeah, so let's go ahead and hold control. Ephemerate it, or target the Quantum Riddler with the Ephemerate. Draw 2. I still have my draw step. Oh, I was holding control. I guess I didn't have a stop set. Well, okay. Well, good news is we're going to win really easily. That's excellent news here. Guess I could have got it for a little bit more damage. Should be okay. All right, so we get to go Ephemerate the Agent, steal a land, Meek Attack in, Pinnacle Emissary, get back Ephemerate, Ephemerate the Agent again, trigger Prowess, steal another land, which means I now have enough stolen permanents that I'm going to be able to trigger the Agent of Treachery at my end stuff to draw 3 cards. To draw 4 cards because of the Quantum Riddler. So, not looking too bad, huh? They've got 2 cards in their hand. All right. Well, that looked good. So, I want my dispute, the load bearing mystical dispute. Prismatic Ending is pretty bad against them. It's good against Ragavan exactly, and then although it's not good if they're dashing Ragavan, and then it also is pretty bad against Phelia. Maybe I want to try these Strix Serenades. I don't know. I feel like the 2-for-1s on them is pretty rough. I think we'll play maybe still 2. They can also hit like Teferi, Fable tokens. We just kind of need the cheap interaction, don't we, huh? Consigns are okay too. I guess I like. So I guess I like a little bit of a hate relationship with Consign and Blink matchups, but this was because of the Esper Blink decks. How they would always thought CZUC Consign and play around it forever. I guess that's not going to be as big a worry here. So let's do 3 Consigns, 2 pending, 1 dispute, leaving the Preordain. Seems okay. Asked with the 28 months. Thank you. Welcome back. The judge chat is saying Flages isn't sacked. Apparently, judge is watching the stream right now. Don't know if they self-ID'd. I didn't see it, but okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and operate under the judge's assumption that if you steal an evoked Flage, it doesn't get sacrificed. I think you're missing the Flicker Wisp where you can chain animate lands with Mimic, activate Monk or another card. Okay, all of the Flicker Wisp perverts are so obsessed with Flicker Wisp being MDFCs. It's not that strong, I think. I really think it's not that strong. It's like it's fine. It's so fine. It's not one of the more powerful things you could be doing, in my opinion. They're just obsessed with the value. And then maybe one day there will be a better MDFC to do it with, but the current power level of MDFCs is not so high. All right, let's hope. Okay, on a multiply, we need to find a Quantum Riddler probably. Wilhelm with the 5 gifted subs. You've got a gifted sub from Wilhelm. Make sure to thank them. But yeah, vote cards do get sacrificed. Okay. Interesting. Interesting that it's different. ChatGPT says you get the Flage. I haven't seen ChatGPT be like correct on many judge rulings. But we'll put it in the vote pile. ChatGPT, it usually tells me the wrong time for Mavericks games, which is like, I don't know how it gets it wrong, but it's. If I was your teacher and I was grading your paper, I would say needs better source. Probably not good to run the Phelia out here when it's just gonna die for sure. I don't know. Maybe it will die for sure always. Maybe I'll find Teferi. But I think we can afford to play a little bit patiently on our multi-5. Although we get punished immediately. Not that punished, I guess. So we can go Phelia into Glasspool Mimic tapped, Phelia into Hardcast Solitude. Might just go to game 3 soon. We'll see. It's the wording difference. Evoke says it's a controller. Okay. Now I understand. That was very well stated. An excellent chat this morning. If they Ephemerate, I'll concede. We got a lot of places to go today. Okay. We continue. Again, not very likely to win this game, but if our next card's Quantum Riddler, all of a sudden we're in good shape. We'll play it out. And this is also the kind of matchup where you're just gonna start hardcasting Agent of Treachery. Are they only on 2 surveillance? I've been pretty triple surveillance pilled in decks that are playing more than 20 lands for the most part. Not sure if you saw I am a judge who thought you would sack Flage. I took with other judges and you don't. Sub-Zero, a monument to my sins. I didn't see that. Thank you. You know, it's it is okay. But thank you for atoning. So I guess we're gonna wait on the Phelia because I don't want to just give them a free thing to kill. If they just escape a Flage next turn, maybe I want to cast Phelia instead of the Solitude so that if they have Consign, I can flicker my Solitude to get rid of the Flage. They also have access to a Quantum Riddler. Not fair that they drew a Quantum Riddler and I didn't. Sure, as people, it's also right a lot. And I mean, what if it gets a magic rule wrong? So what if it gets a magic rule wrong? If ChatGPT gets a magic rule wrong, it's the difference between a player winning and losing a game potentially, which is, I think, kind of a big deal. And it's like you can't really talk it through with ChatGPT if it's wrong about something like you can a human being either. You need to like it'll just keep making stuff up and lying to you without really understanding what it's saying. All right, so let's cast the Solitude. And then if they have like Consign plus Discharge, we're kind of cooked. So they do have the Consign. Maybe they have double Consign. Maybe they're trading the Consign for the Phelia effectively. I guess we could have targeted the Flage also. Which is that better against Consign? Oh, sorry, I should have played my land. I was just so focused on like, does this get consigned or not? Okay, let's go. So I should have surveilled this turn. See how much it punishes us. They do still have a Quantum Riddler in the Warp Zone. Ryan with the 52 months. Hope you're doing well. So they've got their own copy of Solitude here. They've got 2 cards in their hand. I'm up to 14. I don't love to have to bounce the Solitude. I think I will bounce the Solitude anyways. And then probably better to wait on the Meek Attack till we find an agent or something like that. Although there's the upside of finding the Riddler still. Although we could still just go cast Meek Attack, Warp Riddler. Okay, so this will probably kill Teferi this turn. Fable. So it has Solitude, Mystery card. No, thank you. So if I Solitude something this turn, then they're going to probably Solitude my Solitude. Okay, they discard a Ragavan, and they discard a Flage. So maybe they have another Ragavan. I was kind of thinking I'd get to Solitude the Ragavan and then force the Solitude block. I think I'm casting this here. It's kind of minor. There's Subtlety? Dispute, sure, okay. So I'm down to 11 life points. I think we're running it out now. Surgical plays first, see what they got in hand. It's not going to affect my play, I think. I know one of their 2 cards. I think I'd rather like make them maybe or incentivize them to put more cards in the graveyard. But yeah, I think I'm actually just always waiting for the 5th card to go in the graveyard. Because they might like Galvanic Discharge just to like cast the Flage. This Cryogen Relic is so weird. If they have another, yeah, it seems like they don't have a. Or wait, they have 3 this game. Interesting. So they're probably gonna sack this Arid Mesa to escape the Flage, and we will draw a Quantum Riddler into double Agent of Treachery for sure. Good to see their build here. Oh, they have a Consign in their hand. So they have 2 Total Fables, 3 Disputes, 2 Consigns, 4 Discharge, 2 Strix Serenade. Probably should pop the Relic here. So we're dead if they cast the Solitude. I don't think they're very likely to cast the Solitude, though. Yeah, they did a great job designing Meek Attack, I agree. What are my outs here? I mean, I guess if I draw like a Solitude, I'm technically alive. Obligatory monthly Mimrar to OG Blood Sun Lotus Field Teferi builds. It hasn't been that long since we they drew 2 Riddlers this game. I drew 0. I did multiple 5, I guess. Let's go to game 3 on the play. Well, we have been playing a little bit of Lotus Field control lately, and it has not been going very well. Okay, on the play, I think I'm kind of interested in less prismatic endings, potentially. I don't know if that's true. I think I'm gonna try 1 Serenade over 1 Pending, see how it goes. Is Volatile Storm Drake too cute for Meek Attack? You steal their 4-drop and the Drake still sacks itself? I don't think it does sack itself based on our understanding of the the rules. Wait, I'm 61? The whole deck's not 61, is it? Okay. Sorry about that. Not going to be a huge difference. We drew a Quantum Riddler. Let's go. Just the difference between... you just kind of have to draw a Quantum Riddler in this matchup, I guess. A second Quantum Riddler has hit the hand. Yeah. Why not? Any exciting 0/0s with counters as targets for Meek Attack? Famished Worldsire is one that comes to mind. They have a monkey. Monkey's pretty bad if they have it. Looks like they have it. Yeah, flip over a Solitude. I'm kind of hoping to surveil a white card to the top here. I think I want double red more than I want double white. I don't think I want to try to Preordain and Riddler into a white card if I don't have to. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna slam the Meek Attack. They might Strix Serenade me, so they have 2 of those. They could have Dispute, but they have 3 disputes, and if they Serenade, we get a blocker. And this just helps me get my hand kind of empty for the double Riddlers too, which I think is fine. And maybe we just like Meek Attack and Solitude next turn. Surveil. So we want to see Surveil, not a Plains here. Uh-oh. They have Phelia. Pretty scary. Oh, sorry. Serenade hits artifacts. Wait, doesn't it doesn't hit enchantments? It's artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers. I guess they could just. Oh, looks like they're just going to consign the return here. They flip over another Phelia, which I guess won't help them very much here. So white card lets me start drawing extra with the Riddler. We draw maybe the worst possible. I don't know. I don't know if it's worst possible. It feels pretty bad here, though. Okay, so there's the Serenade. I'm going to now Surgical their Consign so I can draw an extra card with the Riddler. Their hand is Galvanic Discharge Mountain, although their hand will very likely be different after this. Although, we kind of need to draw a white card. Don't draw the white card. Well, we had a really exciting game one. Now it seems we're just getting run over. Especially with them having discharge. I don't really know how we can top deck out of this. Maybe we should have some Wrath Disguise in. I think we actually just have no outs. Let's keep it moving. Well, let's keep this. But the fact that it's 6 mana to do that that's a lot of mana. You played well, Vegas. You played well. Oh man, I feel like I've seen more brews. Actually, probably just want to play around Harbinger, right? I feel like I've seen more brews with this set than I have in like any set in memory. People are really excited about it. It's just Merfolk. Yeah, I know it's Merfolk. It's Merfolk with Lorwyn cards. I haven't seen Merfolk in aeons, I feel. I don't know. What do you think of using Persist as a secondary plan of attack? Using Lootings to dig for Meek / Fadi. I guess I think that it's not that good to Meek it to persist Agent of Treachery. It's okay, I guess. It's possible you could go that route. Alright, so we're gonna get basic mountain to play around Harbinger. Cast a Meek Attack. Might be able to get back Prismatic Ending with Pinnacle Monk. Also can Meek Attack in Solitude. Silvergill Adept revealing Hexcatcher. Hexcatcher is the one you can sack a Merfolk, counter non-creature spell unless they pay 1. Hard to say no to a Solitude here, so we don't have to. Let's not. Although, it looks like my plan right now is to try to, like, sneak attack the Monk, grab back Prismatic Ending, block the Adapt, and then hardcast Solitude. What? Moth Dust Changeling. Okay. So, usually this is a card you only play if you're playing Magda combo. When this creature enters, return up to 1 other non-land permanent to its owner's hand. I think I'm going to cast the Solitude. We know one of their card is not a free counter spell. No attacks. I mean, I've got a Meek Attack in play. Any idea what this is doing? Wait, there is a new Merfolk that's like whenever there's a new card that says whenever a Merfolk gets tapped, right? What is that card? Okay, draw 3 with Harmonized Crescendo. Doesn't look too bad. Opponent is cooking. So let's go cast Meek Attack, which gets to resolve. I think because we've got the Ephemerate. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to attack and main phase the Ephemerate. It's a little bit weird to main phase the Ephemerate, but I just really, really care about getting the rebound. Yeah, I know about Deeproot Pilgrimage, but I think there's another one too, like from the new set. But maybe I'm wrong. So they've got 5 cards in their hand because they just drew 3 with Harmonized Crescendo. I did not really think Merfolk would want this, but maybe if they're playing Deeproot Pilgrimage plus this, it's good. Tap another untapped creature you control. Okay, so yeah, there's got to be another payoff besides Pilgrimage, I would think. Is this another Harmonized Crescendo? When this enters, make a Merfolk. I don't even see this one. Interesting. All right, so we get to try to pop off a bit here. So we'll see if they block. I want to ephemerate the Pinnacle Monk instead of ephemerating the Solitude. So thankfully they didn't block. They have a counterspell? They have a Hexcatcher. So they're going to sacrifice 3 Merfolk to deny me the Ephemerate? I think that's okay. So now they've got 1 card in hand, a Hexcatcher, and a 3/3 Flying Vigilant Merfolk. Flying Vigilance on this is actually kind of good. And then 2 cards in their hand after they draw. Cool game. So let's attack for 3. Probably just trade for the 3/3. Kind of interested in playing second Meek Attack here. Get my hand empty for Riddler. I don't feel a strong urge to have the hardcast Solitude up. We still can Meek Attack this into play. Meek attacking it into play can be kind of good here so that we can avoid counter magic if we feel like that's something we need to do. Yeah, I've been liking the Meek Attack so far. It certainly feels like it's worth continuing to explore. I wasn't sure if it would. How have the Pinnacle Monks been feeling? I've been liking them so far. It was really good this game. Possibly we would want to be playing more copies. All right, so they Otawara their own Hexcatcher. Sea King with the 29 months. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. I'm at 16. They're at 10. Well, the upkeep Solitude worked pretty well last time. Let's do it again. Although Meek attacking in Phelia and Solitude next turn could be pretty cool. Yeah, this is just kind of get a card out of their hand here at a spot where every card matters so much. So could go for lethal. Probably a little too aggressive. Let's find an Agent of Treachery. Yeah, baby. Problem is they're gonna lose the game before this really starts to add up. I guess I do get to. Not, I don't have to kill them this turn. One issue is I don't get my draw 3 right now if I play this way, but I think it's better to hold the Ephemerate. But I could have gone Ephemerate the Agent and then flickered it and then... Oh, no, I guess it would have come back end of turn anyway, so it wouldn't have been in play to trigger the draw 3 no matter what. I'm going to steal a Wanderwine Hub. Soul Roll Spike. It's got 3 cards in hand. I'm respecting my opponent. They've got 3 cards in hand. 4 mana up. Oh, you know what? I should have ephemerated while I still had the Hexcatcher in play so I could sack like a Spell Pierce. But we're going to be winning anyways. I think it's just fine to steal another land here and show them they're kind of cooked. Okay, so up a game against Merfolk. Let's bring in Mystical Dispute. Let's bring in Wrath the Skies. Let's cut Serenade and Consigns. And I think I like the Teferi's a good bit. I like the Phelia's a good bit. Could trim a Preordain. Gonna prioritize getting the Mountain and the Plains like we did that game. I've been brewing Meek Attack with any 0/0 cards. I have a Cultivator Colossus Lumra Famished World Sire deck in the Moxfield you can check out. It's a amulet with all these cards. I don't know when we're gonna play it. But like that certainly seems like the shell for that package of cards. So they flip over, they reveal a Hexcatcher, and then they play no 1-drop. Meek Attack works with Colossus. So the idea is that between Urza Saga, Lotus Field, and Bounce Lands, and then also Sylvan Safekeeper, I'm thinking that you can get down to 2 lands, so you can Meek Attack in Colossus. Yes, and I'm thinking you can do that consistently enough that it's going to be interesting. It might not be the case, but that's definitely the joy of playtesting for the first time. Is this going to be a big blowout? They have a Dismember. Okay, Scalding, sure. So I guess I'm going to go Prismatic Ending here with the ability to pay for Dispute, or pay for the Hexcatcher, rather. I don't see Timeless Lotus. Anyway, the list must be some kind of mistake. I've almost played Escape to the Wilds. I realized you couldn't sneak the cards in from hand. Can you Meek Attack Lumra after Devour trigger before ETB? Well, the Devour has to ETB for the trigger to happen, but yes, you can do that. Don't think we want a Scalding Tarn here. Are your last 2 cards Flare or Force plus blue card? Sorry about that, opponent. All right. Sorry about that. I feel like Threefold Thunderhulk is it looks like one of those cards that I've like started to read many times on my Ugin's Labyrinth search, and like I glaze over. I like start reading it and start to glaze over it. Keeping the Prismatic Ending in case their Ruby Storm seems fine. Something with Protean Hulk, perhaps. Is Protean Hulk is it's a 6/6, isn't it? Can you Meek Attack and Protean Hulk? All right, it is Ruby Storm, so good job, I guess. Pretty bad matchup. I was building the sideboard today, and I'm like, I don't think there's a lot of Ruby Storm at the moment. Was something I said to myself. And also the thing about Ruby Storm too is you don't necessarily have to respect it that much because the deck's kind of fragile anyways. Tristani's Summoner. Ugh. I love that card. I don't know. Basically everything does seem a good bit worse than Agent of Treachery though. All right, so they Reckless Impulse into an Artist Talent and a Ritual. So maybe playing Teferi this turn to be able to bounce the Artist Talent next turn could be good. Love this upkeep stop. um, Teferi plus Solitude pretty good against Ral. Also, we'll go ahead and play the Teferi. Okay, they do keep a card on top. They've got a Ritual and an Artist Talent in the Exile Zone. They've got 5 other cards in their hand. There's the Ritual. And then they play Rin's Resolve. They hit another copy of Artist Talent, and they hit a Grape Shot. Grape Shot, kind of interesting against their Teferi. They do have a land. Interesting that this was in their hand already. They chose not to Artist Talent before Ritual to get the loot. Wouldn't have expected that very often. This upkeep stop sure is still here. Bounce the Artist Talent. Suture Goal is pretty cool. Usually these cards are required to have like a really, really stacked graveyard are not super wise. Upkeep stop must be for Arm Strength. Yeah, but like it's game 1, so it's probably not in their hand. And also, I have a Teferi in play. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. So we can use the Consign to keep the Teferi in play by consigning the Grape Shot. Alternatively, we can just save Consign for Ruby Medallion and save Solitude for Ral. One problem with that is they've got 2 Artist Talents, so they can use that as their cost reducer. Oh, okay. On the topic of Famished World Sire, so I have a Famished World Sire in. I have 1 copy in the amulet build that I'm working on. Exactly 1 copy. And then I have. They discard the other Artist Talent. Interesting. Then they level 2, so they're gonna let the Grape Shot be exiled, or they're gonna Ritual. I guess they're gonna try to go off. I have 1 copy. I started to build a Valakut deck around Meek Attack Famished World Sire. Then I realized Consign stops Famished World Sire, and I was like, maybe this is not something we should be building the deck around. All right, they hit a Reckless Impulse, a Wish, and a Ruby Medallion. So why don't we plan to reset the Artist Talent with Phelia and then consign the Ruby Medallion? Oh, right, these just get exiled. Still, I think resetting the talent's pretty nice. We can Ephemerate the Riddler. I think we should be playing the Riddler first anyways, though. Yeah, I don't think this has changed much. Maybe a little greedy to not play the Mimic as a land here is probably okay. Would you ever consider Ripples of Undeath in those Moonshell decks? When we tested Ripples of Undeath, it did not test very well. Why not consign the Phelia trigger for talent? I think we can do that. Maybe that was just better. What I kind of like about this spot though is, I guess you know what, the spawn tokens, they just have enough mana to level the talent. You're right. We should have consigned the Phelia trigger. And also, there's 3 rubies in the yard now. Yeah, you're just right. I guess I thought the idea with World Star was just to kill them with the attack. I guess that's a lot of lands. Well, if they consign the World Star trigger, you're still like I don't think you're going to be able to kill them with the attack that often. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that isn't the case. Maybe you will, but that's my concern. They discard a Ral. They hit a Pyretic Ritual and a Reckless Impulse. 2 pretty good hits here. You're gonna have 4 mana after this. They discard a second copy of Ral. You're gonna cast a Past in Flames. Yeah, sorry, we threw this game away. Again, not a lot in the sideboard for the Storm matchup. I guess Serenade's kind of good because it does counter Ruby or Ral. It's actually not too bad, huh? It's probably better than Consign. Don't know that we want to. I don't know that we want to play 0 Consigns. I do think the Teferis are okay, especially how they line up against Ral. And then our win condition really is going to be, I think, Agent plus Meek Attack still. Probably want to go down an Ephemerate. Down a Solitude. Down 2 Solitudes. I guess that kind of defeats the Teferi plan, which maybe means no Teferis. Yeah, the Sultai Reincarnations didn't end up testing that well, but I kind of want to rebuild it. I think it's unfortunately probably just going to be a Living End deck. So I don't know. Is this the only deck we're testing today? No, we're going to be doing some other stuff. Let's see what's on the docket for today. I'm going to try to go longer today too. So I want to try Jeskai Twin. I want to try the Simic Primal Prayers deck. We also need to get to Formidable Speaker Badgermaul. The Primal Prayers deck's also a Formidable Speaker deck. I also have Meek Attack, Colossus. Well, it's Amulet Titan, but you get to play a little less of the Amulet Titan elements. You're on Lumra Loop instead of, I don't know. I don't know if I could get excited to play this one. Maybe I can. And then we have, is that it? There's one more we hadn't got to. Maybe that was it. Okay, it looks like these 4 are on the docket in addition to this one today. I was the plumber. $0. Let's go. It might end up still costing me something, but right now he seems to think there's not an issue. The Primal Prayers deck on Mox Field is wrong. No speakers. There's speakers. I need to add the 60th card also in the Mox Field. Last night I was like, I'll decide on in the morning, and then I didn't get around to it. Well, I guess I'm mulliganing. 2-5. Hello, not in the face. This is kind of the worst Magic Online experience, is playing against an opponent who's just not here in a matchup you didn't respect in your sideboard when you're down a game. And so like even if you win, it's like even if you win, you have to play another like super slow match, and then you have to win both games. Let's just do one more league with this Blink deck. I just don't want to play against this player. It's just the worst kind of player. Someone who's just not respecting your time at all. I don't know. It's very frustrating. Like the upkeep stops too are just like in game 1 when you don't have Orm's Chant and when there's Teferi in play. I'm too excited for Lorwyn to sit here for another 30 minutes against that player. All right, let's go. So holding up a turn 1 Consign for like specifically Amulet, it's a little bit narrow. But I think we could just surveil with a different land if they don't play an Amulet. Come on, Solitude. Also take a Prismatic Ending, of course. Don't want an Arid Mesa. So we might end up consigning Seasoned Pyromancer ETB here. Why did we drop? I guess you weren't here, but we were playing against a Storm player who is just super double queued, who's taking a really long time to do everything, and also has like an upkeep stop despite being double queued. And we had used like 2 minutes to their 7 minutes, and we were down a game, so even if we won, we had to play another one. And quite frankly, I'm just too excited for Lorwyn to waste my time playing against a player like that. It's just like I'm excited to be here, and I want to play against someone who's playing against me, I guess. All right. Well, the Ragavan stole my Meek Attack, so we got to graveyard this. I affected by the ice storm coming in? Not yet. It's supposed to come in tomorrow night, I think, or maybe tomorrow at like noon. Um, I bought a bunch of food and got some covers for the hoses, and let's hope it's not too bad. Pretty flooded this game, unfortunately. Best rolls Quantum Riddler by a million years. Yeah, I'm hoping. So I am worried about losing power because of my aquarium. I have a power supply that I can plug them into to keep the water temperature where it needs to be. But if we lose power for like 48 hours, which is not likely to happen, but if we do, I don't. I'm gonna be like very carefully boiling water and try to keep the temperature up, and then I have to let it cool down. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know, but that's my main concern are my fish. All right, they flip over another Agent of Treachery, so we only have two left in the deck now. It's kind of weird. Wait, I've never heard about your aquarium. There's a lot you don't know about me. Take a draw step. Might be going to game too soon. Yeah, I saw Ted fled again. I just every winter freeze, I just really hope that Ted Cruz is safe, and so it makes me very happy. I know my taxes are going to a good place every time I see Ted tucking himself in and making sure he's nice and safe. All right, so I was kind of like between Teferi and Surgical in this matchup. I think I'm gonna play the Surgicals. I don't just think Teferi's kind of bad against them. What about a cheeky time warp to go infinite with Pinnacle Monk Ephemerate? You'd have to be a bit more in on the plan, but you could be. I was gonna plan to upgrade my aquarium this year, but I'm glad I didn't do it before potential big freeze. Petco sells battery powered aerators. Okay, I could take a look at getting one of those. Let's keep this. I have a power supply that should last about 24 hours. I should be fine too. I don't know. I also like we haven't lived in this house during a big freeze, so we don't really exactly know what it's like. No one drop is kind of a bummer, funny enough. I think I want to keep the Surveillant here. It's also kind of close. But I wanted to be able to Prismatic Ending this turn so I could just comfortably tap out for the Meek Attack. Do we think our opponent... I guess they did see Agent of Treachery, so maybe they would have the Meek Attack read. They also do have 3 Raven Charms. Yeah, we've got gas stove and water heater, so... I'm not too worried about it. I just may not... also, the freeze is coming the weekend, so... It's very unlikely to affect the stream, which is, my income. So looks like it's not going to be too bad for me personally. Damn, people are really trying this card, huh? If I draw another land here, okay, let's go for it. Fair Lude Milo. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for pronouncing your username incorrectly, but thank you for the 13 months. Did you think people should try that card? I did, and then I saw it in play yesterday, and I thought it looked really bad. So I don't know how long people are going to be trying this, or maybe possibly that one match was like, no, maybe that one match was not a good sample size. But so far to me, it seems clearly worse than Voice of Victory, Johnny Goblin Bombardment, Raven Charm. I don't know. It has not looked good. I've yet to see it. I've seen it attack like 5 times, and I've yet to see it put a creature into play. Any chance you can bait you into looking at Merfolk Twin? No, but we're gonna be playing non-Merfolk Twin soon. I want to build Merfolk Twin myself. Another issue I have with Merfolk Twin is that I'm not convinced it's better than playing Elven Chorus and Pure Sight Marrow, which maybe it is. But that was another combo we had. Sentry with Asmo? We'll just put Asmo into play. 3 white mana? Oh, Ranger Captain. Okay. It's a card that makes sense to play with the Sentries. So you kind of don't run out of gas. But yeah, I don't know if any Boros player has been trying this card. Like, I think in theory it sounds good in Boros as a way for you to cheat on mana and all that. But in practice so far, it has not looked very good. One of Yavimaya to hardcast agents. What are you talking? I mean, I know you're trolling. We can hardcast the agents. We have enough fetchables. Okay, so if I see a Meek Attack off the Preordain, I'm not gonna Prismatic Ending, I guess. I guess we don't need the 5th land either. We're all in for the second time. Did I consider Revelark at all in this list? Is Revelark a 3/2? I guess I haven't even thought about Revelark since like the birthing ritual days. Oh, sorry, birthing pod days. I don't even know the name of the card anymore. So you can't Meek Attack in Revelark, but you can bring back Agent with it. Flicker Wisp fits the bill. The Flicker Wisp perverts, y'all disgust me. Yeah. That card is not that good. It's okay. Yeah, it's a 4/3, so yeah, it needs total power 5 or less. Yeah, 6 mana to evoke is tough as well. Alright, oh. That's fine. Why are they perverts? It was just funny to call them that. Not really that deep. So I guess actually I probably just want to be stealing their lands here, right? On their upkeep. So I can have 2 blockers, and then if I steal the lands, then the 3rd agent's gonna let me draw a bunch of cards. And then this is also kind of nice with the Wrathless guys. Also, if they don't tap the lands, then I could activate the 3rd agent potentially. If you waited till there instead, you could draw 9. Yeah, I think it's way better to just try to stop them from having it as effective as turn as possible this turn, and then sweep the board and draw 3 next turn, and leave them with only a handful of lands. Right? This has got to be better. I guess we'll Meek Attack in the Monk and Preordain here. Looking for maybe an Ephemerate. Maybe a Mimic or something like that. Waiting on the Flooded Strand until they tap or don't tap their mana here. So if they don't kill my agent, then I'm going to be able to... Well, they didn't tap the land because they're giving up. I can draw into the Ephemerate off the agent draw. Shock in case you draw Mimic. Yeah, maybe. My life total is also kind of low. Possibly right. I only have 2 Mimics in this build. Three cards, please. Just a Phelia and a couple lands, but hard to be too upset about this board. I do only have 1 Agent of Treachery left in the deck. Can we Meek Attack a Colossus one time? I built a deck. The problem is that it's Amulet. But I did build it. So they 3-up and charm my Meek Attack, but it doesn't really do anything since we can just cast everything. Since we stole so many lands. They're hasting something. They have 2 cards in their hand. One of their cards they're hasting is a Ragavan. I think they must have something else if they're going to haste instead of dash. I talked about this a little bit in the video, Kiki Jiki and Meek Attack. There's something there. But that it's so if Meek Attack costs 1 mana to activate it, it'd probably be pretty good, and it doesn't. It costs 2, so I'm not that excited about it. Is unfortunately where we're at. So I think I have all my surveillance in play already, right? Two of these are my opponents. Draw another land. I think it's good to overpay for a future Wrath. Although I do also have plenty of mana. So they're going to have 2 cards in their hand. Honestly, they're still pretty in this game, huh? Yeah, I've liked the Pinnacle Monk so far. Too bad we don't have an Ephemerate yet. We also haven't drawn a Riddler yet. I'm going to wait on the Phelia to try to ambush the Pride, I suppose. And I think I am going to fetch to Thin. Oh, maybe I should have got a Mountain. I guess I can still get a Plains with this. Doesn't Meek Attack not work with Colossus unless you either play 2 bounce lands or 1 bounce or regular land? It also works with Lotus Field, Sylvan Safekeeper, and Urza Saga, which are all in the build that I've got prepped. All right, good top deck for them. And the deck might not work overall. I don't know if we should just play it next to get that out of the system. That one's probably going to be a faster one. I really want to get to the Primal Prayers deck today, though. That one looks really good. I need to decide on a 60th main deck card still. We'll do that real quick when we get to it. They failed to find. I stole all their fetchables, I guess. Ambush. Missed the second half of Grixis Moonshadow yesterday. How did it perform? I think we 3-2'd with it. I thought it looked good though. Overall, I kind of like the Rakdos build the most because it's just the most aggressive, and Moonshadow kills so fast that I kind of like the leaning into the more aggressive elements from that build. I think I just want to gain life pretty bad. Aether Channeler as a catch-all for the 60th card. Aether Channeler is pretty bad, but maybe. I was kind of toying with maybe playing like some value Shardless Agents. Oh my gosh, dude. I guess I can get another fetchable out of there. Oh. Game 3 then. The Formidable Speaker is a new card in Primal Prayers. And I think you mostly want to be playing it with not the Guide of Souls Risen rebuilds like we were playing, but I think that you mostly want to be playing it with Greenbelt Rampager and Dour Port Mage, because it's a really big deal that Formidable Speaker gets Greenbelt Rampager. That's not something you could have done before. And so yeah, I'm not sure what I want my last card to be. Maybe a Force of Negation, maybe a main deck Subtlety. Maybe the first copy of Stock Up. I think I'm gonna play. I've played Stock Up in this deck in the past. I kind of liked it. Probably one Stock Up. Why not Ambush with Solitude to gain life? I probably should have. Honestly, the reason is I just decided to Phelia first, and then decided I wanted to gain the life after, which is a bad way to do it. Have you seen Legacy Formidable Speaker Allura builds? I have not. No, I'm somewhat familiar with Legacy Allura. I'm not sure how Formidable Speaker changes the equation there, but in Modern, at least, it's a really big deal that it gets Greenbelt Rampager, because there just isn't. This is the first Primal Prayersable card that can tutor either Port Mage or Rampager. The fact that it gets both halves of your combo is such a big deal. Well, we do have 2 mana sources, but they're both Pinnacle Monks. All right, let's keep this and probably put back the Solitude on the mulligan. My opponent's on a mull to 6 also. What about the Venture to Dungeon Dude in Prayers? What about it? Let's talk it through. That card is a 2-card combo with Guide of Souls, right? So is Risen Reef in my experience. Like if you have Risen Reef plus Guide of Souls, your deck is able to churn through enough to very consistently draw your entire deck and then Thassa's Oracle. Greenbelt Rampager, Dour Port Mage is also a 2-card combo in the archetype. It's a 2-card combo that allows you to draw your entire deck and then Thassa's Oracle. Dour Port Mage and Greenbelt Rampager have more utility beyond just combo killing. Dour Port Mage is a card that is going to potentially draw you a bunch of cards in the early game. You can cast it on turn 2. It just kind of does more than something like Acerak, which is the card you're talking about. And Acerak is a card that literally only does anything when you have the combo. If you're not comboing, it is not it's not really a thing at all, is it? We keeping this? I think I'm gonna keep the Riddler, but I think keeping the Phelia is too much problematic because I have to main phase it into the Voice of Victory, and if I'm main phasing it into Voice of Victory, then all of a sudden I'm just so cold to Flage. Thoughts on Delaney in that in the list or Moonbusk? Well, so right now I'm really committed to being Simic, but we have some Bant builds you can play those cards in. So, and then back to Acerak, there just seems to be like basically no competitive reason to be that direction as opposed to Dour Port Mage, Greenbelt Rampager, or Guide of Souls, Risen Reef. I'm all in, baby! We're all in! Ah, we've been called. Is Mirror Form on my radar? No, this card is 6 mana, requires you to have a big board, and I don't even like what just describe to me how you would think this would work in Modern, like what you would do with it. The Moxfield list is old. Okay, well we'll get the right list. Don't worry. Okay, but before that, I think let's go ahead and pivot to the Agent of Treachery, Meek Attack continuing to look almost good and not quite good. Let's just get it out of the system. I just know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna not ever do it, and I know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna regret not doing it.